First rule says that identifier can start with underscore or small letter or even big letter. There is a difference between this data as a variable name and this another data as a variable name. So because C++ is a case sensitive language. Constant is a fixed value that does not change during the execution of the program. Dear students, welcome to CS classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in computer science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Students, let us start our discussion with the topics identifiers, keywords and constants. So in this session, we are going to discuss these three concepts of C++. Now, let us see. First one is identifiers. So what are identifiers? Identifiers is a name given to a programming element. So it is a name given to programming elements such as variables, arrays, functions, etc. And it can contain letters, digits and underscore. The identifier is the one which is the name given to different programming elements. Here in the program, we come across variables and arrays and functions. So we have to give name for all the elements through identifiers, and identifiers may contain letters, digits and underscores. And here few examples for identifiers. So here student is an identifier because it consists of only alphabets. And again, second one is amount starts with underscore. So identifier can start with underscore. It is a valid identifier. And marks 1 is identifier. Total score, here total underscore score. So you can use underscore in the identifier. And student, it is uppercase. And again, rank 5. This is alphanumeric character and this is again alphanumeric character. So we can name different elements of a program with number of maybe letters, digits or underscore, or it may be a combination of alphabets and numbers, or it is a alphanumeric variable or alphanumeric characters. And these are the valid example for identifiers. And here these are invalid identifiers. The 3, 4 data. Here the identifier starts with a number, it is invalid. And again, reg hyphen number. So this is hyphen. So this hyphen is a special character. We are not supposed to make use of special characters as identifier or in identifier. Next one is public. Here, public is a reserved word or a keyword in C++. We are not supposed to make use of keywords as identifier. So this is identifier, the name given to different programming elements. Now let us move on to next slide. And here, let us see what are the rules to frame an identifier. To frame an identifier means how to write identifiers. Now, first one is identifiers are sequence of characters which should be begin with alphabet. We should start with alphabet either from A to Z, this is uppercase, or from lowercase or with underscore. So this is the first rule, says that identifier, it can start with alphabets, either uppercase character or lowercase character or even underscore. Now look at the previous slide. In this example, if you look into that, this always starts with alphabets, uppercase. And if you look into that, this starts with a small letter or lowercase alphabet. And this identifier starts with a underscore. So this is first rule. First rule says that identifier can start with underscore or small letter or even big letter. Even in the example is here. So this is first rule. Now let us see the second one. Here C++ treats uppercase and lowercase characters or differently. Means this is, we know that we have learned in the basics at the beginning. So here what is the C++? C++ is the language, is a case-sensitive language. The meaning of case-sensitive is there is a difference between uppercase character as well as lowercase character. Now look at the example. Here, data. This is one variable, or we are writing in uppercase or in big letters, and it is not same as data. So there is a difference between this data as a variable name and this another data as a variable name. So because C++ is a case-sensitive language. Next one is no special character is allowed except underscore. So this character is called underscore. So you know how underscore looks like. Suppose if I write here A and underscore B. So this is underscore. This character is underscore. And suppose if I write A hyphen B. So this is hyphen and this is different from this. So this is, we can identifier. This we are not supposed to make use of this character in identifier. So this is a underscore. We can use underscore in or in naming an identifier. Next one is a keyword. Keyword cannot be used for naming an identifier. You are going to learn different types of keywords. So we are not supposed to make use of those identifiers, those keywords as identifiers. Next one is identifier should be of reasonable length. So, and we can name the identifiers with limited number of characters. So this is it should be of reasonable length. So these are the rules to frame an identifier. Now let us move on to next slide. Next definition is keyword. Next definition is keyword. So what are keywords? So we have seen the keyword in previous slide. So what are keywords? Keyword is a predefined word. A predefined word that gives a special meaning to the compiler. They are called as reserved words. So here another name of keywords is reserved words. So what is the meaning of this? It is a reserved word or a keyword which convey a special meaning to the compiler, and it is predefined. It is predefined in the C++ library. Example, if, else, while, do, and break. These are the example for keywords we may have to use in our program. So keywords are the special words, or is also called a reserved word, which convey special meaning to the compiler. So these are the example for keywords. So this is keywords. Now let us move on to next slide. So next slide is constants. Next one is another name is literals. Another name of constant is nothing but literal. So what is a constant? The definition is constant is a fixed value that does not change during the execution of the program. So suppose we may come across different types of constant. For example, pi is a constant. We know the value of pi, that is 3.1416, or we can also make use of 22/7. So pi is a constant value. So we would like to keep one value, value of the pi as a constant throughout our program. So that is nothing but constant. So constant are the one which remains same throughout the program from the beginning till the end or during program execution. So this is nothing but constant. And here we have come across different types of constant. They are integer constant, floating constant, character constant, and string constant or string literal. Another name of constant is literals. So these are all types of constants in C++. Now let us move on to next slide. First we will see what are integer constants. Now we know what is the meaning of integer. So integer constant are constant that have no fractional part or exponents. So here if I talk about integer constants which do not have fractional part, means which do not have a decimal number. If I say fractional part, nothing but decimal number. So it consists of only integer values. For example, whole number. For example, I can write 36. 36 is an example integer. There is no fractional part or there is no decimal number. So it is an integer constant. I can also write minus 36. It is also an example for integer constant. So what are integer constant? These are constants which do not have a decimal point. It is not a decimal number, but it can be either positive or negative number. So under integer constants, we have different types of constants. One is decimal constant. One is decimal number. It is a decimal number constant, and it is, for example, 52.76 and 10.06. So next one is octal constant. Octal means you know what is octal number, and it has a digit from 0 to 7. So 536 and 766 is octal number. It is octal constant. Next one is hexadecimal number. Hexadecimal number system. It is nothing but base is 16. So we can make use of characters from 0 to F. So here this is an example now. 0x 5F. Here hexadecimal number always starts with 0x or 0x. Here either in uppercase or in lowercase. So this starts with 0x. It represents it as a hexadecimal number system or hexadecimal constant. And here 5F is a number because F is allowed in hexadecimal number system or hexadecimal number. So this is hexadecimal constant. These are all examples for integer constants. Now let us move on to next slide. And here floating point constant. Next one is floating point constant. So what is floating point constant? Here, the floating point constant are also called as real constants. Another name is called real constant. These values contain decimal points. Means a point should be there. The value contains decimal point and it can contain exponents. For example, look at the example here, 52.76. Here, this is an example where it has point. This is a fractional part. So this is a number with fractional part. It is called as a floating constant or floating point constant, or generally we say is a decimal numbers or decimal numbers with point. Either is a positive or negative value. Here minus 10.6, it is a negative decimal number. The point is indicates it is a fractional part or floating point constant. Another name is real constants. So this is floating point constants. Now let us move on to next slide. Next one is character constants. Next definition is character constants. So character constants are specified as a single characters enclosed in pair of single quotation mark. So what is this character constant? It is nothing but a single character enclosed in a pair of single quotation mark. Look at the example here. Here single quote P and closing it. So this is a character constant. So here this is a single character enclosed in a pair of single quotation mark. It can be anything, but only one single character. Suppose if I write single quote and letter A and close this, it is a valid character constant, and it can be even number. If I say open the single quote and write here 3, close it. So this is a character constant. And again, I can also make use of special characters, say this one and plus close this single quote. It is also an example for character constant. So what is a character constant? A character constant is a single character enclosed within a pair of single quotation mark. Suppose if I write by mistake and open the single quote, if I write 2 characters, for example, A, B, C and close it, so this is invalid. It is invalid character constant because character constant must have only one character between a pair of single quotation marks. So this is character constants. Next one is string constants. Next one is string constants. So what are string constants? A string constant or string literal consists of 0 or more characters enclosed by double quotation marks. Here, if you look at the previous example, it is a character constant which is one character enclosed in single quotation mark, pair of single quotation mark. But string constant is a group of characters enclosed between a pair of double quotation mark. Now here, for example, this C++ programming, this is open the bracket, open double quote, close the double quote. In between, we can have a group of characters or number of characters. Suppose if I write here anything, I can write here name as Ravi, and here I close this. So this is also a string constant. So you can have n number of constants. Here it is nothing but a string constant, means 0 or more number of characters. So this is string constant. And also you can also have open double quote and close a double quote immediately. This also an example for string constant, as it is a 0 and there are no values inside double quotation mark. So generally this is a string constant, and these are the constants, or this is a group of characters enclosed between a pair of double quotation marks. So this is a string constant. Students, so in this session we have learned the definition of identifiers and rules to frame an identifiers, and definition of keywords, and also different types of constants. They are integer constant, decimal constants, a floating point constant, character constant, string constant. So let us continue our discussion in my next session. Thank you very much.